Hey guys, how is it going? This is Fickle Sports. This is our brand new podcast because the world is going to shit and you guys will need some damn entertainment at some point.
Just to clarify, this is a British podcast, even though the Chinese/Korean British guy sounds incredibly American.
I fooled you.
When doing his intro.
I'm joined by the one and only, the bearded man, even though he's shaved off his beard and he looks weird and I have to look at his chin, Alex Ching.
Alex Ching.
That's your name. That's your alias, right? Alias. Sorry. I don't know how I got that wrong.
I trust you just throw an ass in there. Yeah, I don't know if bearded man goes too well because there's a lot of people out there with incredible beards and I've never, ever come close to some of these. I mean, Giroud, for argument's sake.
And the fact that people can't see you just yet. But take it by me, he doesn't have a beard, but he usually had a beard.
And introducing the American/British/South Korean/Chinese motherfucker of the year, Alex Ching.
Oh god, that makes it sound like we're brothers, which is not actually true at all.
Oh my god, do you have half a golden medallion? I have the balls, you have the shaft.
No, it's copper. I can't afford gold. But in today's podcast, we've got an action-packed podcast. We have, first, it was trending on Twitter, but everyone was discussing it, like who would get in to the very first Premier League Hall of Fame. And we go through each position, striker, midfielder, defender, goalkeeper, and we decided to include manager in that. Mm-hmm. And we also have our most iconic moment in Premier League history, Hall of Fame. And on top of that, we're giving you extra content. We decide who our five-a-side team would be to survive this coronavirus apocalypse coming up right at the end. So stay tuned for that. It's weird. I've got my suggestions. They're really weird.
So, Hall of Fame inductees. The way we've tried to do this is, did we agree on 4 years in the end?
Minimum 4 years played in the Premier League. You can't have any one season wonders in there, basically.
Because there'll be a lot. So say someone like Benny McCarthy would be a really good example.
Ooh, wow, you're going deep into the Rolodex of players for that.
Literally, he came in, he did one season with Blackburn. He did really fucking well. And the last I heard of him, I think Karen Brady was calling him fat.
The fame got to him too quick.
I'm not saying that is the definition of a one-season wonder, but as far as falls from grace go, Karen Brady calling you fat, when she, she's not exactly a model herself.
To be fair, if I went and played in the Premier League and I scored like 2 goals, I would be instantly boozing and getting pissed out of my face.
Yeah, there's no way. Could you imagine it at 18 years old? They wonder why so many of these players go off the rails. You're giving an 18-year-old 20 to 30 K a week. Do you know what I would spend on that? Do you know what I would have done?
It's just unreal to measure that type of money to normal people's lives. But if you think about it now with coronavirus and the fact that the Premier League is suspended, I am more than willing to shed out some money for some entertainment. Like, I so appreciate the Premier League being on. I'm starting to get loopy already.
I'm really glad that I've heard there's this YouTube channel that's up and coming that could really solve my boredom. Fickle Sports, if you haven't heard of it.
Fickle Sports, tell your mates.
We should do like the opposite of the ESPN music, because that's like dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. We should do dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.
What, and not get sued?
I don't know if they can sue me for that one.
Probably could if they really wanted to. Okay, so Hall of Fame.
Yes.
We don't know each other's selections at all.
I do want to add in as well. I think certainly for me, my criteria was twofold. One was like sheer top level ability.
Yeah.
How good they were at the top. And the second bit was how consistent they were able to maintain that level. So, for argument's sake, someone like Torres, who was, I think, for, 2-3 seasons at Liverpool, was undoubtedly up there with the best.
Unworldly.
But then he fell off, and he didn't maintain that level. And so for that reason, I would not include him.
Yeah, no, we're talking about the creme de la creme, like the 0.1% amazing ability over a certain amount of time. That's why people will debate this and like, oh, he should get in here because he did this and this and this. But we're talking about the first person, the first inductee of the Hall of Fame. That's one person. They have to be head and shoulders above other people.
Yeah, and you're right. And it will cause people to debate this.
But we go straight into the first position, and we got striker.
Goalkeeper? What?
You want to go to goalkeeper?
You go goalkeeper up, always. Who starts with striker? Goalkeeper is... Look, we're not going to argue about this because I'm upset already that you've just poo-pooed the goalkeeper position. But
for me, playing football, you just put the worst person in goal.
Or the fattest.
Yeah. Oh, that was me, actually.
Me too. No, I get what you're saying, but like it's always, whenever you're doing anything that involves positions, always goalkeeper. Imagine them doing a formation and them doing Arsenal and going, and for Arsenal on the lineup today, we have Aubameyang up top. Ozil was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they would do that. No, they go for the bench first. So really, we need to start from the bench.
Who's not playing today? Who's not
Who didn't make the squad? The 18-man squad.
So we're not going to do it your weird ass way. We're going to do it the proper way and start with the goalkeepers.
Okay, so you want to introduce your man first.
Let's take it in turns. I go first. We also have an honourable mention in case. What we want to do is come up with a combined 5-a-side, I suppose it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
4-a-side. We want to come up with a combined 4-a-side.
Quick math.
Yeah, quick maths there. A combined 4-a-side. So what we've done is we've come up with our top pick, as it was, and we've come up with an honourable mention who, if we both agree on the top one, we will discuss our honourable picks. So, going in, I will go first. My goalkeeper, my first pick for goalkeeper for the Hall of Fame of the Premier League is Petr Cech. Undoubtedly, probably arguably though, the best goalkeeper in the Premier League. Oh, it's from 92 onwards. Fuck, we didn't even mention that. Yeah, it's Premier League, so it's 92 onwards.
Yeah, we didn't mention that. Our first
4 Premier Leagues, 4 Golden Gloves. Unfortunately, he actually shares that with Joe Hart, which I think brings that stat down a little bit. But Joe Hart was also a beast on his day at Man City.
Yeah.
He has the most clean sheets with 202. A ratio of... He has a 45 to 60% goals to clean sheet ratio, only bettered by Reina. Now, I know that sounds a bit weird, the fact Reina's in there. But I would also argue, when you actually look at that list, nearly every single goalkeeper on that list that has a high ratio... They have their kind of prime years, and then they have their kind of like shit years at a lesser club. And I feel like Reina is actually going through that now at Aston Villa. So that would probably bring his clean sheet ratio down. Yeah. And then we can actually judge him compared to all the other high performers.
To be fair, Petr Cech, his stint with Arsenal was kind of a downward spiral, because he was on a crazy ratio of clean sheets. But with Arsenal, that got sabotaged quite a bit. I do feel sorry for him a little bit, but no, yeah, it's a very good selection. He made the team of the year twice, so he was definitely recognised as the best for quite a few seasons.
He went 1,000 minutes without fucking conceding a goal.
Right.
Do you know how insane that is?
No, it's the thing is, he had a great Chelsea side, like defence with him. So, I mean, there's that as well.
100% agree with that. The Chelsea defence was incredible and they definitely helped him out. But I actually think Cech, for those years, was the best. Like, just all round, he did not have a weakness.
The thing is with Petr Cech, he's very mild-mannered and boring, but he was so consistent. So when someone says Petr Cech, for some reason, the goal that's in my mind is, unfortunately for him, is Papa Cisse's goal for Newcastle against Chelsea. I don't know why. When someone says Petr Cech, I just remember that goal. But I have to reprogram my mind to understand wow, Petr Cech was in his prime and for a long time, for 4 or 5 seasons, the best goalkeeper in the Premier League. And the way I really see him is that his frame is so large as a human being, physically, but his reaction time and shot stopping was exceptional. And at the beginning when it was at Chelsea, where people were going in 1-on-1, but he was massive. He would spread wide And like it was really difficult to score 1-on-1s, and he was awesome at saving penalties at the beginning of his career.
I think as well, he was one of the most intelligent goalkeepers. His decision making, he would always make the right decision, because sometimes a goalkeeper's in a position where essentially all they can do is the best they can.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that, if you're in a 1-on-1 situation, really a player should score in that situation, because all a goalkeeper can do is maybe try and force him, like Casillas used to do, try to force him down one road and to make himself look big.
Yeah.
They would always make the right decision in the right situation.
Yeah. And he was very good at commanding his box well, because it was massive. He was all crosses and corners. Well, to be fair, marshalled with John Terry. That Chelsea team didn't concede anything, almost. Yeah. But, he spent 15 years in the Premier League. He has the longevity to be in this pick.
Who was yours?
It was Petr Cech as well. It's a bit undisputed. I mean, who else did you consider? I was considering Schmeichel as a candidate and David Seaman. Those were the only two, but they didn't have the consistency that Petr Cech had.
So Schmeichel was my honourable pick, obviously with 5 Premier League wins. He didn't have any golden gloves, which might surprise a few people. But do you know why? Because the competition didn't start till 2005, so he didn't really have a chance. Again, he was one of them players who had a really good time at Manchester United, and then he went Villa and I think somewhere else, and he had a bit more of a shit time. That brought his ratio down to 41.29, only beaten by Van der Sar, Reina, and the aforementioned Cech. Yeah. 128 clean sheets, but I think Schmeichel...
He was a crazy man.
He was great. He was one of the first goalkeepers to kind of do that star sort of jump in a 1-on-1 situation. He would run at the player and just sprawl out. And it was like you hadn't really seen that before. It was more kind of that long, like you would make that long barrier with the leg and like kind of have your arms out. He would fucking star jump at you. He would come out.
Listeners, you can't see, but
I'm star jumping in my seat.
He's got his legs up to his ears and he's got his his hands up. It's distracting me quite a bit. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to say next.
It's ironic that you've said that, because I'd say the key thing that Schmeichel had that made him was his presence.
Yeah.
He had a lot of very good other attributes, obviously a very good shot stopper, etc., etc. But it was his presence. He's just, you did not want to be there if you was an attacker. And as a defender, he would marshal you. He would make sure you're in the right position. If you did something wrong, he would let you know. The best presence a goalkeeper has had in the Premier League, potentially.
It's weird because it's kind of converse to Petr Cech, because you don't really hear... He sounds like a boring goalkeeper. He just gets on with it, and he's just physically dominant in his box.
Cech had presence. He did. But it wasn't...
Madman presence.
Yeah, it wasn't that kind of level of... Fuck me, Schmeichel's coming at me, I don't want to be here. Or if you're a defender, oh my God, I just was out of position and they went through on goal.
So how close was Schmeichel to Petr Cech in your thinking?
Not very close.
Not very close, okay.
No disrespect to Schmeichel. I think he was an incredible goalkeeper. But I just think Cech ticked every box for numerous years.
I'll give a tiny case for David Seaman because of his ponytail. Was the most iconic goalkeeper. No, I think David Seaman, whilst he doesn't get close to Petr Cech, I think he was the best shot stopper out of all Premier League goalkeepers. Do you not think? Mm-mm. I think he had the reactions like a cat. He was jumping everywhere, but he doesn't have the longevity of the rest of them.
I disagree with that. I think he's up there, but I think to try and actually pick out who would be best would be a nightmare in itself. I couldn't see a case for putting Seaman above Schmeichel or Cech.
No, just your reaction shot stopping. That's
what I mean. Okay. For that, like, don't get me wrong, he was incredible, and I think he would be in the conversation. But I can't think of an example other than one incredible save. I can't remember who it was against.
Here we go on to our next category, and that is defender. And can you guess my pick? Appearances, 385. Goals, 15. Don't know why I have goals there, but might as well have it. Assists, 31. He won the Premier League 3 times and was in the Team of the Year 4 times.
You have Ashley Cole.
Oh, ding, 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 ding. Yes. You know, the most surprising stat about Ashley Cole was actually he won 3 Premier League titles, but he won 2 with Arsenal and 1 with Chelsea. I thought it would be the other way around.
So I actually knew that beforehand, but when I saw that statistic, it surprised me just as much.
he won the Premier League with Arsenal. Everyone knows 03-04, but he also won it in 01-02. Although he didn't, have that many games with that team, but he has a Premier League medal with it, which is really surprising actually. And he only won one with Chelsea. It seems weird because they won like a glutful of trophies, that Chelsea team.
Yeah, I mean, he won a lot of FA Cups, so he won the Champions League, didn't he?
Yeah, okay. He's not going to complain, is he? But he will definitely go down as England's best left back.
Yeah, he's a little bit unfortunate. Well, he's not unfortunate. The thing is, he does a few minor indiscretions, which I don't think are massively big, like the old 55k offer from Arsenal. He said he was shaking with anger.
Yeah, what an idiot.
Yeah, and then cheating on, although he did get paid double by Chelsea. So
yeah. I'm pissed off with Arsenal. He should have offered him 60. Like what you're fighting over 5k? But yeah, this is my case for Ashley Cole. So for me, as a defender, he had almost everything. He had great pace. He was physically strong despite his actual frame. And he started off as a winger and he learnt how to defend. But playing at left back, I felt like he naturally learnt how to defend quite quickly. And he had good instincts for defending. The thing that I give him the utmost credit for, right, is every time your team won the ball back, he was basically there up to attack. But if attacks broke down, he was one of the first people back defending. And that takes immense consistency and discipline.
Yeah, he had great control, had great awareness, especially in attack. He would know where to be, and he would have that pace to get back, and he would always be willing to get back. And I think his attacking style or his attacking ability as a fullback was seen throughout his whole career. I actually think his defending went to another level when Mourinho went to Chelsea, because he had to rein in that. It was
very defensively focused,
and he just went from strength to strength, and he was already a good defender. Yeah. A lot of that was due to his physical abilities, but he just went from strength to strength. Because Mourinho, and he made quite a few. He became quite good at goal line clearances.
Yeah, really good at that.
He made quite a few.
Yeah, that was his weird, strange forte in his career.
But yeah, consistently at the top, probably the best fullback for numerous years. He was my first pick as well.
Oh right, okay, yeah. I mean, unfortunately, he did possess attacking ability. That's what, with the Arsenal team, that left flank was kind of scary because you had him, Perez, and Henry just marshalling that whole left wing. Yeah.
Who was your second pick?
Second pick. You know what? I didn't really have a second pick because he was just unanimous. My other second pick would have been probably Rio Ferdinand in there, as he's a Premier League great. I mean, his whole time he spent with Man United, and he was the best ball-playing defender on top of his amazing defensive and positioning skill, and he had great pace. And he did win a lot. He has a lot more Premier League titles than Ashley Cole.
Well, so I think I was a little bit. The thing is, when you look at top defenders, it's always centre backs who come out on top, and I love centre backs. I think they're an incredible part of the game.
They're your main piece in your defence.
They are, and I think I was partly led by the fact that they do always get picked. Whenever you hear Ferdinand, you hear Terry. Terry didn't come close for me, not because of how good he was as a player, but I just think the controversies that followed him, I don't want that in a Hall of Fame.
No, you can't have that. I know. Well, all the Chelsea fans will be, up in arms, but you can't really have that as your first pick into the Hall of Fame, can you?
I don't want him there at all. Like, incredible as he was.
Yeah.
I can't support it. I think if you're in the Hall of Fame, you need to be there because of what you represented as a player. And I would say, ability-wise, he was in the top 3 of centre-backs in the Premier League. But that personal side and that just who he was as a person, you can't be in there. You don't want him to be held up to kids as look at this.
No, that's very true. But I also think that this factor is quite underrated. I think that to be in the Hall of Fame like your contribution to the Premier League as a whole, like as like creating it like a global game, right? There's some factor in with that, don't you think?
No.
What?
Well, it's because it's like then for a midfielder, you could put Beckham in there because he did better than anyone with regards to that.
No, not put him in there, but as in he gets... That's a tiny bit of a reasoning for Beckham in being in there.
Okay, Seaman Park.
Yeah.
He genuinely brought the Premier League to different parts of
Considering
the world.
his ability, he deserves a bump up because he won loads of titles. He helped the Premier League in the Far East. That's still a consideration. He's not going to get in, but as in like still...
Yeah, but he's not in the top 50.
No, I know. That's the thing. But as in he would get a slight more of a bump because of the fact that what he's contributed to the Premier League and over a lot of seasons.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I don't think that should be included because it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, the two most important things are ability and consistency. And someone like Ji-Sung Park, as incredible as he was, he goes from, as I say, 70 to maybe 50. It's insignificant. Yeah,
I know, but it's insignificant, but it's still a factor.
I don't think so.
If you're talking about comparing two players who are really similar in statistics and ability, but one was better at, say, contributing to the Premier League, I think he would win. It might be like 5%.
I don't think you're going to get that. I think there's always going to be a player who slightly stands out a little bit, who's just that little bit better.
Fine.
I see what you're saying. I see where you're going. And if it does come down and you look at these two players and they are identical...
Exactly. You need the fine margins, what that's going to make you decide, if there is that close case.
Why'd you bring up this bullshit thing anyway?
Because it's real. People will agree. People will disagree as well.
Fine. But yeah, that's why John Terry... My second pick was Evra.
Ooh, what? Just because he does nice little Instagram posts?
Because I would say Evra... No, I was thinking about this, right? So I had Ferdinand, Ferdinand was my easy pick. Ferdinand is a player who deserves to be in the conversation.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you put Ferdinand in there, I would not argue.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
So he was easy to pick. And that's why I went with Evra. Because I look at Ashley Cole and I look at everything he's achieved and I look at Evra and there's similarities. Evra, for numerous seasons, he won 5 Premier Leagues. He was in the Team of the Year 3 times.
Yeah.
I would say, for what Ashley Cole was, Evra was a French Manchester United version.
Yeah. What I give credit to Evra is like when he first arrived at Man United, he was awful. He was making mistakes left, right, and centre. I was watching him. I was like, yeah, I'm not worried. I'm very happy that they spent this money on this guy who can't play football. But then he turned out he was super consistent and he bossed that. He bossed that left flank. Basically, he bossed wingers for like 5 years.
And supported attack.
Yeah, he was great as well. So I hats off to him for changing my mind.